Hey, I'm Dr. Ferry. In this video, we're going to talk about the ideate stage. And remember, this is our design process. And right here, we're at the ideate stage, just blowing it up over here. Out of the define stage, we've identified the needs that we want to meet. In particular, for this class, we're doing the startup thesis. We have X, we have Z. That's the customers, and that's the value proposition. In Ideate, we're basically doing the brainstorming. And out of Ideate stage, we're going to be coming up with the concepts and ideas of their products or processes. We are yet to actually build something. That's in the prototype stage where we'll come up with a physical representation of it. So we're concentrating on right here, Ideate. Let's start with a process of inclusive brainstorming. In an initial session, you've got a group of people. Initial session, you want each person in the group to individually think of possible ideas. So you're coming up with why. That's your brainstorming. There are lots of ways you can solve why. And so in your group, the first go around, each person in the group has up to 30 seconds to state their idea very clearly, no jargon or anything, and uninterrupted. And others actively listen to what they're saying. Focus on that person. So everybody has that chance. On the second round, each person goes around the table and makes a brief comment on somebody else's idea, not their own. And that forces them to do two things. One, to make sure they actively listen to the other people, and so that we get some feedback on people's comments. And then it's an open discussion. And as an example that might come out of this. So you started out with, from the define stage, your customers were seniors with some limited abilities who live on your own. That's X. They will buy Y so that they can do these things. And out of ideation, you may come up with multiple solutions here. For example, a service that comes and helps them, or maybe a cell phone made with seniors that has appropriate apps on there. There are 7 rules in brainstorming. 1, defer judgment. Allow anything. Don't tell people they're wrong or anything. Encourage wild ideas. Build on the ideas of others. Stay focused on the topic. One conversation at a time. Be visual. Draw pictures or sketches to convey your ideas. Go for quantity. Get a lot of ideas out there. Later you can refine them down. The other thing is this space of ideas. For example, maybe the limits of technology, current technology, are here, and this might be the what you can think of in terms of science fiction. So when you come up with your ideas, if you start out with saying, well, these are our limits, these are our constraints, then what you find in your ideas is if you let the limits, current limits of technology be barriers for you, then your ideas will oftentimes come up staying away from those boundaries. And your realm of ideas are not really as creative because they're constrained by those bounds. If instead you don't worry about the limits of technology, you don't like say no, you don't say we can't do this. Without thinking about those current limits of technology, you come up with more innovative designs that go past the current limits. And that may force you to change your limits of technology, but it allows you to have a wider spectrum of ideas. Let's think about cell phones and the evolution of cell phones and how this applies. So when the first cell phones came out, it was like, wow, that was like science fiction. Blasted through some of the basic technologies. And then from there on, they were more iterative on the basic design. And then you get to what happened here with the Nokia. It was the first touch screen. Well, that blasted through the current technology and set in motion a whole nother set of things. But they still had a set of hardware kind of switches and buttons on here. And then the iPhone came out and it was all soft buttons. And that opened up the whole smartphone and a whole new realm of things. And it was by not limiting yourself to what was current technology in the brainstorming ideas. There's another technique called mind maps, where you can organize your ideas. You put your general main theme in the center of the page. For example, maybe the idea is, okay, we want to steer a car. And then draw branches to sub-themes from the center. So for example, you can use your hands, or you can do voice activation. Again, we're not limited by current technology, which are being wild ideas. Brain waves, you can do all kinds of things. And then you want to add images to invoke the thought or get the message across better. Those are your images. And then add at least 2 main points for each of your sub-themes. Use hands, use gestures. Those are the ways you might use your hands. Develop your own voice recognition, or you can license something. So in summary, we started out with our startup thesis, the X and the Y. We brainstormed, we collaborated, and we came up with these ideas and concepts, the why. The next stage will be how to make that into a physical representation that we can show to others. Thank you.